Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Cricket 19 career with me, Daniel. It's episode 48 and today we're back to first class action. We're playing our third successive Sheffield Shield match and we're hoping to get a victory for the Western Warriors. Western Australia face Victoria today and we're right at the top of the standings in the Sheffield Shield and we're hoping we're able to wrap up the title before moving back to Yorkshire in the English County Championship. So let's quickly go and have a look at the two games off camera, but in the meantime a massive thank you to everyone who's supporting the channel. We obviously had a difficult spell in the T20 Super League in Pakistan in the last couple of episodes on camera, and in the last week or so we've started our FM20 long-term story and our B to Save with Luton Town too. So if you've not seen my Football Manager content before, please do go and give them a try for the new game. I really do appreciate you watching as always and hope you continue to enjoy the content. But our two games off camera were in the Sheffield Shield, so let's just go back and have a look at them. Perhaps a slight hangover from our recent form. We weren't quite at our best, but as a side we've managed to get comfortable victories. Firstly against the Southern Redbacks, a really solid performance in that one, 50 off 55, a half century before being bowled by the spinner, and although we didn't manage to have a bat, we were able to win with an innings victory. Mitch Marsh putting on a century in the first innings, and then wickets falling like skittles. There was no need for us to have a bowl at all. The other spinner, Usman Kadir, you can see he got 3 for 8 in the first innings there. Then in the following match we weren't quite at our best, but we did manage to contribute a few little runs. A 231 run victory in the end, and with a first innings score of 34 individually, that off 46 balls before again falling to a spinner, so starting to creep back in some of the old bad habits. And in the second innings we fell for just 15 to the spinner again, this time caught by Jimmy Beerson off the bowling of Mitch Swepson again. So perhaps not our best run of form, and we are starting to have the first sticky patch of our first class career, but we are still doing pretty decently and our average is fantastic at first class level. Having said that, we are looking forward to getting back to England, back to conditions we're used to, and obviously for Yorkshire we could put on a bit of a clinic, and we haven't got to be the skipper in that one either, so we might get a little bit more of a bowl and a little less responsibility as a team. Then the One Day Cup's coming up in England as well, probably the form I've had the most success in this career, particularly individually but also as a side, so plenty to look forward to in the English domestic season. But we're going to get into the last Sheffield Shield game of this campaign, hoping we'll be able to get a victory. And again, despite a slight batting deficit, we're heavy favourites for the match, and it's a hard dry pitch as has so often been the case in Australia, with hot conditions sure to dominate the match. In the last game we actually had a little bit of rain and missed about half a session as a result. That's very unusual in Australian conditions, so let's get into this one as it looks like it's going to be dry the whole time. Well, back for the toss and Victoria have called heads, so we're not having to make the decision today. We have lost a couple of times in recent weeks, so it's probably best that we're not calling, and we've won the toss so we're going to bat first, as we have so often with great success. It means we've been able to get innings victories a couple of times, and it's meant we're able to keep our average up as we've had less opportunities to fail. So let's go and get into the match, and we'll be back in a minute to face the first ball. First ball of the innings then for us, after David Warner scores 2 off the first 7. Oh, and we play at the full one and it goes straight through the gate, but luckily it just missed off stump. Jackson Coleman's playing around the wicket to start with. In recent innings we've had bowlers coming over and it's made it a little bit difficult, but it's because he's a left-hander, so he's naturally over the wicket for him, but it makes it very difficult for us. He's got that gap open on the leg side. I was going to say he plugged our favourite gap, but it looks like he's opened it up again now, so we're just hoping for a relatively straight one. We timed it a bit late as we misjudged the pace again, and with half an over gone, it's not looking too good for us so far. Here he comes again then, there's space down the ground, we try and play straight back at him, we timed it right but Coleman got in the way, and he just got a hand to it to keep it to a dot ball. Well, he's closed that gap at mid-on, but he has opened up the leg side again. It's a straight delivery, but we played it late, and it beats us through to the keeper. This has been a really poor first innings for us. We haven't timed it well. First over, in fact, is what I meant. We've not timed any of the deliveries well, and in the end, it's a dot to finish the over, a maiden to start for Coleman. Well, luckily for us, Warner scored 8 off the next over, and we're back to face Coleman again. It's swinging away, and we're not able to get anything on it, and he's making us look like a bit of an amateur here. No space on the offside, so we have to try and force it through leg again, and finally we get one away for a single. One run and we're off strike to Coleman. Hopefully David Warner can do more successfully. Well, he has, but unfortunately that means he's given us back the strike. We've got 2 more deliveries to see off, and that one swinging away yet again, and despite having cat-like reactions there, he's still saying our timing's a little bit late. I'm not quite sure what else I can do with that. I don't think I'm capable of reacting any quicker. It's the final ball of the over though. Let's see what we can do with this one. Short one and the footwork's poor. We tried to react a bit too quickly and perhaps guilty of premeditating there. We're back with Boland at the other end as David Warner's added one halfway through the over, and finally a right armour coming over the wicket. That should make it a bit easier for us. We get it away to our favoured leg side, just going to be a comfortable single, and with 15 without loss after 4.4 overs that we've only contributed 2 off our bat. Warner with another single, so we face the last ball of the over and we're able to get it away for 1 again. Pretty comfortable batting in that over. Boland certainly far less of a threat. Well, that single keeps us on strike, and unfortunately it means we're facing Coleman again, and he's drifting it away from us, the left armour taking it away. Really difficult to play against, and unfortunately it's another dot ball. We're just a little too scared to play outside off. It cost us our wicket against a spinner in the last one, but every time we try and go to the leg side, we just waft in a bat aimlessly. It doesn't matter as long as we don't get an edge on it. It means we'll be able to stay in long term. It makes our confidence poor, keeps our strike rate looking bad, and that one's beaten the keeper through the first slip. That's just how much swing he's got on the ball. He's certainly bowling at the top of his game. Another dot ball then, but he has opened up the leg side now and we're able to get one away at last, and because there's not a fielder there we're able to get a single. Then the man does get round quickly, so he does restrict us to just 1. Probably not a bad thing as we survived the last ball, and hopefully we'll be back on strike to Boland now. We are, and he has closed up the leg side a bit, but there is still space to get 1s if we need it, and we're just going to do that for now. No need for us to try and get big shots in. As long as we can keep rotating a strike, we can ease ourselves into the innings pretty comfortably. Normally David Warner's got out pretty early in the knock, so it is quite nice to us to have a partnership. 2 balls left in the over. Warner's got us back on strike. It's a shorter one which we're able to get away, but again it doesn't beat that fielder on the leg side, so it is just going to be 1. Though the overthrows have beaten the fielder, the one at cover is completely beaten by it. Probably should have stopped it in truth. Wasn't backing up well, and in the end we get 5. That's a little bit of a treat we didn't deserve. Again he sticks over the wicket, Boland, probably very unhappy with that bit of fielding, and we're able to get a single to finish the over, and in the end it looks like a pretty fruitful one. Not much of it coming off our bat, but the overthrows still count just as much. What it does mean though is that we've gone into double figures, that we do have to face Coleman again now, and we're able to get this one for a single despite an LB shout. It just comes off the bat onto the pad, and in the end we get away with it, and we're able to get through for another run. Well, David Warner's done us a favour, he's seen off the rest of the over, and now we're back to face Boland. We get a massive edge on that, but it does take it past the man at mid-on, and in the end we're going to get 2 as a result. A little bit of luck, and we've been really streaky in recent months, just can't quite find our timing as well, but in the end we're still getting runs at the moment. On to 14 off 23, and we certainly don't deserve that for the way we've played. But Boland's coming in, he's been really expensive here, and he's going to be very upset about it. Many of them coming through overthrows, and others just coming from streaky singles. That moves us on to 15, and David Warner's back on strike at the other end. Boland coming in again as we're back on strike for the final ball of the over, and again we're able to get a comfortable one. Just getting back to basics here, making sure we edge away simple singles. We're not trying to do anything flashy or flamboyant, and as a result we've almost made it to 20. With 16 off 25, the run rate's a bit lower than usual for the team, but we're still doing a decent job, and it's the Australian international Patterson in now, and he's causing a bit of trouble with his pace. The first one's edge, but it lands safe, and now we've got to try and get him away to the leg side. In he comes again then, there's plenty of space out there, it's a wide one which just comes off the bottom edge of the bat, and we thought about running twice there, but it's a good job we didn't as a direct hook would have got us. Can we produce something a bit more convincing? Full delivery and we can't get it away. Again it's late, it's just too quick for us, and I haven't got the reflexes to deal with it. So we're just going to try and premeditate the next one. With half an over gone we can't do any worse. Don't be surprised if you see a wicket go here though. As we try to react quickly we edge it the other way, and we just scampered through for 1 to get off strike. We'll let David Warner deal with the rest there. He does just that, and we're back on strike for the start of Boland's over, continuing his spell despite playing 5 overs already, and we're able to get a comfortable one to the leg side, this time the sort of mid-wicket region, but the fielder gets around pretty quickly. Much more comfortable pace for us, and we're able to get off strike pretty handily. Well, David Warner's off strike, but he's brought us back into Patterson, and unfortunately he's coming round the wicket now, which is probably going to make it even harder. We nearly edge one, but it comes off the thigh, and goes straight to one of the slips. I've got to say, to be fair, you expect this sort of relentless pressure when playing international bowlers, so I'm certainly not upset to see it, and I think we've managed to top edge a 6 there. It may have just bounced before it hit the rope, but 4 runs is an absolutely brilliant outcome, though again it was more luck than judgment, but it does take us into the 20s. So hopefully we'll be able to hit a convincing shot at some point, but either way, as long as the runs are coming, I don't care. It's a full delivery and it swings away again, and we stay on 22, accounting for exactly half of Western Australia's runs. 2 balls left in the over to Pattinson, and it's basically a survival mission at this point. Again it's off the bottom edge and goes straight to the slips, but thankfully it had a bounce along the way. One more ball and then we've got a breather. We've just got to make sure we stay in for it. I think I might even go defensive here. There's no point trying to score off Pattinson. He's caused us problems all day long, though of course I can't resist attacking one. I defend in the end and it ends the over, with 12 gone with 44 without loss. Well, Warner's seen off another over and got us to 50, and we've got to face Pattinson again. It hits the bat and just drops down in front of us, but it does mean we can scamper through for 1, and we get off strike, which is all we want to achieve. We cannot handle Patterson's bowling at all. We're back on strike to him just 2 balls later though, David Warner getting singles comfortably. We're going to try and play leg side again, not sure if it'll work. This time we finally get a comfortable one. It's a single to the fielder on the leg side, and we're off strike yet again. Well, it's the problem partnership now. We've got Jackson Coleman coming over the wicket at the other end. Short ball and it beats us all ends up. It carries straight through to the keeper. 1 for the over called though, so we shouldn't be facing any more short stuff in this one. Here he comes again, Coleman. Really got a point to prove here. It swings away. It's a brilliant delivery. We're never going to get any bat on that. Well, we got off strike to Coleman in the end because one hit us on the body, and now we've got to face the left arm spinner in Holland. There's space on the leg side if we can find it, but we've really struggled against spin since we've come back to Australia. It's accounted for our wicket all 3 times, and it's always been in the first couple of overs too. This one's a left armer though, and that's something slightly different, and he's bowling over the wicket, and we've edged one through him defending. We've tried our best to be methodical, defend, be a little bit more cautious, and even doing that we've managed to edge it through to the keeper. A really poor shot, and we just got at it a bit late. So we're out for 24 off 43, a really slow start, and again the spinner gets us first over. Good catch by Sam Harper, the young keeper, and Cam Bancroft will come in to join David Warner. Well, we're back and we can give you a progress update on the match before we finish. We did make it to 400 in the end as a side. Only 24 from us as we saw. A pretty streaky 24 at that. But Jonathan Wells with 98 in the middle order. The player we brought into the side as skipper. And then David Warner got a rare century. He'd been in pretty poor form before that point. But it did mean we got to a competitive total. And we do lead going into the second innings. That's because Victoria only managed 262. As we managed to put on a pretty decent display against them. Marcus Harris, the test opener for Australia, he managed to get himself a century, and Matthew Short with 82 put up a fight, but in the end it wasn't enough to get them level. And then into our second innings, 11 without loss after Warner's first 2 overs, and we'll be back to face the start of the third, but we're going to go and do that off camera, knowing that we've almost certainly won the game, a lead of 150 from the first innings, and that should see us over the line. Don't forget we're top of the pile anyway, so it does mean we'll have captained the side to a trophy, but our end of season form is again an area for concern, so we want to try and finish in style and stay in for as long as possible here. It is a bit of a worry for us. We really have had a poor couple of months now, and it's becoming a proper prolonged spell of poor form across all 3 forms of the game. So I'm looking forward to getting back to England, and you'll see us in action for Yorkshire in the next episode. But if you did enjoy this one and that really streaky batting innings, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know if you've noticed anything in our change of form, areas where we can perhaps improve our game, and hopefully we'll be able to address them in the coming weeks to get us back to the form that had us in international contention. Subscribe to the channel for 2 episodes a week from this Cricket 19 career, every Tuesday and Saturday at midday, and in this daily FM20 content at 4:30. We've got 5 episodes a week from our long-term story, that one with Dorking Wanderers, and then 2 a week from our B to save with Luton Town, which will be followed by a number of short-term challenges. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support of the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for an important episode as we try to get back to our previous form with the support of Home Comforts at Yorkshire.